everybody, and welcome back to the Hilltop Pillbox here in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. And not sure how much I'm going to be able to get filmed today. Pretty crazy busy day, but I'm going to do an unboxing here. We got another great box from, you guessed it, Sky Marshall. And I'm not entirely sure what's in it, but we're going to open it up. And I don't have my good tripod with me, so I've got a little guy here that's going to serve us. But we're going to open this thing up and see what we see. I was in the States for the last week. That's why I haven't posted anything. And it was in California. I was taking a film course. And I actually got to shoot on the back lot at Universal Studios. So that was pretty choice. I got to shoot on the Western set. That's where they filmed well, lots of Westerns, including Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I don't know if you call that a Western, but the Western scene. So, and if I can get my computer to read my external drive, which is formatted to a Mac, I will upload the short film for you. It was a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of very cool people. But here we go. We've got the requisite good packing that comes with all Sky Marshall deliveries. Well, here we go. Oh, the Japanese Navy is getting some love. Look at this. We've got our escort carriers here. Look at that. I'm going to turn them all the same way. The Shoho, the Zuyo, and the Ryujo. Excellent. And we have big shadow problems. Here we go. Look at these. Nice. These look amazing. Thank you, Sky Marshall. Oh, little destroyer in there. Gonna make some trouble. Tokyo Express. Oh, some nice big battleships going on here. Look at this. Gonna have to get a bigger table, I think. All these. Yes. The Japanese fleet is well represented now. Look at this. Look at these boats. Ships. Ships. Submarines are boats. I learned that on Crimson Tide. Alright. Actually, I think I learned it a long time before that. Enemy Below, maybe? Run Silent, Run Deep? I don't know. And of course, he sent me along more of these fuel gauges, the ones that have been glued together with magnets, so they're easy to pick up and move around. So thank you very much, Panzer King. Sorry, Sky Marshall. I saw a little note over here about Panzer King, but that's an old one. And then finally we have, some American boats. The West Virginia. And the Maryland. Nice big battleships there. And East and West 2025. Eastern Bloc and the Western Alliance 2025 scoring mechanisms. And it looks like we got some Finnish style swastikas, the blue on the white background. And then we have red ones, and for the life of me, I cannot remember which nation they represent, and I feel kind of silly that I don't know that. We're just getting into my World War II unit with my grade 10 class, so I'll have to figure that out. Of course, you got to have your Gestapo. Those guys. Nasty guys, nasty guys. And then we got some more. We got the flight stands. I had seen these before, where he glued a magnet, put these things back to back, and then all you do is you grab a flight stand. You can sit that on there, right? And you can sit that right in the mess of the planes, so it's even easier to pick up. That's a neat idea. I've always liked that. Just never got around to doing it. Very cool. Well, thank you very much, Sky Marshall. Tell ya, This stuff here is just all these little things that just keep upping up my game, making it look better than I deserve. So thank you very much, Sky Marshall. We are definitely going to put this stuff to good use immediately. And if anybody out there wants to tell me which one the red ones go for, let me know. I'm pretty sure this is finish. Pretty sure the blue ones are finish. Are these... I don't know. Maybe they're like some weird Polish Nazi faction. I don't know. But, hey, let me know, folks. Let me know. So, thanks so much, Sky Marshall. Very cool. And we are definitely on for the... the Northern Lights HBG Tournament coming up here in August. And I've got my room rented. The school division says I can use my own room. So, it's awesome. It'll be in the best room in the school for gaming, and it's going to be such a fun time. August 18th to 21st. Come on by. You're going to see a lot of the stuff that you see on my channel. You're going to see there, and you're going to have a chance to walk away with some excellent prizes. Excellent prizes. And the more people that show up, the bigger the prizes are going to be. As we have more and more people coming, obviously the more registration fees that get paid, which is only $50 Canadian. I believe that right now is about 35 American. So the more people that pay, the more prizes I can go out and procure. So go ahead, throw your hat in the ring. Come on up here to Abbotsford or down here or across to here, depending on where you're watching this from. And come and see us in Abbotsford at the first ever Northern Lights tournament. And it's all HBG games. I've done some other videos about it. Go back and check those. We're going to be focusing on 3 games in particular: America, Midway, and Meltdown 2025. And I have those games with all the trimmings, so you don't need to bring anything. It's all going to be there for you. And if you want to bring another game, you certainly can. You'll probably have time to play other games if you want to. And you can bring anything you want. And we'll have lots of room. I've got a master key to the school. And yeah. It's going to be a good time. So August 18th to 21st, $50, the first ever HBG Northern Lights Showcase tournament. It's a tournament. So come get your prizes. Come have a lot of fun. It's a really inexpensive thing to attend. And the prizes you walk away with will very likely outperform the $50 registration fee you're going to pay. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop right into round 4 here as far as I can possibly get. I haven't played this game for a week and a half now because I was in the States. So I've got to go over and just kind of see what is going on right now, because now it's Germany's turn. I see they've done quite a bit of, well, crazy stuff over here. They wiped out the Royal Navy up north. Got a little bit of a fleet down here. Got some destroyers and a sub. But these 4 submarines here, there's 3 up top, 1 there, and we got 4 or 5 more here, 4 more in the English Channel. And they need something to shoot at. So here is the question, and I think it's a good question. Is this the turn that Germany declares war on the Soviet Union and America? Now, hear me out here. Hear me out now. We're going to go into Russia, right? Going to go into the Soviet Union here, and not going to be able to kill a lot of stuff because I've played this as well as I can, knowing that the Germans are coming eventually. But there is only one blitzable territory, Bessarabia, and so Western Ukraine, East Poland, and the Baltic states are the only ones that are going to fall, along with Bessarabia. I could go into Murmansk up there, but the Russians actually, quite frankly, have a bit more firepower up there than the Finns do, so I might just play defense up there for a little while. But if I go whole hog into Western Ukraine, that's going to put the Americans, if we look at the chart here, that's going to put the Americans into the war. Right? They're going to be in the war anyway at the start of their turn. So here's what I'm thinking, is that although the Japanese really can't harm this American fleet, right? That's just too big of a fleet for them to try to harm with the stuff that can reach. They can only reach it with a handful of boats. But would this be a good idea for the Germans to perhaps use these 3 subs to come over here and sink as much of this stuff as they can? Now here's the deal. If they sink everything, that's 5 transports that can't now bring stuff immediately into France. Here's the rub. If they fail, because there's only 3 that can make it, and the Americans still have the transports, then they can go across and land in Bordeaux this turn, plus they'll be at their full war, plus on this turn, because they're in the war, they can absolutely build infantry on the cheap. All the boats get cheaper, right? So, what do you think? Now, of course, what you're thinking right now and what you're about to see in the video might be the exact same thing or might not be, but I'm really debating whether or not to use those subs in that manner. They'll likely die. I have a feeling they're going to die because we're going to have, three, I think, a 2, a 3, a 4, another 4, and a 6 going up against 3 5s. And also the transports defend at 1. So, and only one of the subs is going to get a sneak attack, I think. I don't know if the corvettes can see subs. I'll have to look that up. So is it worth it for the subs to possibly just, they might throw themselves away on one round of combat and maybe sink one thing. So it's a debate. But knowing America's going to be in the war because of what Germany's going to do here, is it worth it to take a poke, or should they just, run and hide with their subs? Well, you'll find out in just a moment as we head on, and a lot of these boats here are going to be heading on to the board, and will be making their presence felt on turn 4. Stay tuned, folks. Here it comes. All right, well, we are done the German and Japanese turns, and everybody's at war now, obviously. Everybody's going to fight. But we're going to start over here in the Pacific and show you what went down. Well, I brought over my 3 subs and my 3 destroyers, came down here, and we took out the entire fleet, plus the fighter that was stationed in Sydney. So Anzac is exceptionally exposed right now and will likely be turtling like crazy and begging for help from the U.S. This was an odd fight too, because the little cruiser that could did. Lost 2 subs on the first round, and then a sub and a destroyer, and then the 2 destroyers and a cruiser, I think, or did not. No, I only had the 1 cruiser. And the Anzac had 3 frigates, or corvettes, pardon me, and then they had 2 subs, a destroyer, 2 cruisers, and a transport. And for the first 3-4 rounds, the Japanese were just getting pummeled, and then the dice went ice cold, and round after round after round, the little cruiser that could got a hit, and the Anzac missed. We got down to just a fighter and the cruiser rolled a 4, and the fighter rolled a 9 or a 8 or a 9. So it wasn't even that close, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the exceptional firepower of the Japanese Navy. So this bottom plaque here is just 2 loaded carriers and 2 cruisers, but then couple that up with another cruiser, 2 destroyers, and then you got a transport fleet. Plus they just took Sumatra. So no natural enemies around here. We built a military base so we can crank out at least an infantry per turn. We're able to kill one of the Gurkhas, and these Gurkhas are likely going to head back and start to take up some of this allied stuff and hopefully get a little bit of money going. The Japanese were able to take back Hong Kong, but lost a couple of infantry doing it, and decided just to leave the airborne guy in Kwangtung. I'm not sure if that was a good idea. Probably should have gone to Shantung with him, but we're just going to make the Chinese divide if they want to conquer. Built a factory here in Shanghai and another one in Peking. You're going to have to start to crank some stuff out, but I kept everybody back on this round because we just need to fortify. So on the communist turn, which will likely happen in a couple of days, the communists are, they might take a poke. because we got a lot of Soviet gear over here, and we got the Chinese communists, so might start coming in trying to put some pressure on Japan. Japan collected 72 this turn and saved 1, so they got 73 to spend. Now, if there's a weakness for Japan, and obviously there will be, if they're really, really strong in a couple of spots, there's going to be a weakness. And the weakness right now is down here. So the Chinese are able to come into French Indochina and Saigon. And again, okay, great, that's $4, it's an $8 swing, but then they're totally out of position to defend the rest of their territory. But if the Chinese can kill 5 Japanese infantry, maybe for the loss of 2 or 3 of their own, that might be something to do. Not really sure though, because with no natural enemies over there and no natural enemies over here, you really can't call this a threat. The only one is the Americans, and we know the Americans are all in the Atlantic. They're going to be putting as much pressure as they can on Germany directly. And speaking of crazy amounts of power, we got a Yamato-class battleship up here. That's with the red paint job there. That's one of the new ones I just got from Sky Marshal. And a couple of destroyers, 2 fully loaded carriers, another battleship, just a regular one, yawn, and then 2 submarines. But that goes with this top card that has 2 more regular battleships, 2 small escort carriers, 2 cruisers, and 4 destroyers. So, yeah, a stupid amount of firepower here that the Americans cannot hope to deal with. And so it's pretty much turtle time. And, you know, do a slow build up, couple of subs, couple of destroyers, maybe build a battleship, things like that. But really, right now for the Japanese, it's going to be Money Island's time for the next couple of rounds, and probably go and take Sydney after that. So that's probably going to be what they want to do. Just bypass the Philippines, don't even need it. All right, yeah, I guess the Americans a little extra money, but you know what? Hit with a fist, right? And over here, the Germans, yes, went in, and this is what they've got. That's what they're facing. So they could easily squash that and take Moscow, except the Soviets get to go next. And they've got $30-some to spend, so they'll be able to put up a little bit of a defense there. And as I predicted, the Finnish troops stayed home, just increased their number by 1. Up here, the Baltic states and the Poles, and got overrun again, this time from the west. And I was speaking with Sky Marshal, and he believes that the red swastikas on the white background are one of the Baltic states. He thought Latvia. And that sounded very familiar to me. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to look it up if I remember. Over here, the subs are doing their thing. They are convoying. The 3 subs that were here came in here and didn't do very well. They sank 2 boats, I think. Yeah, a sub and the corvette. That's it. So the Americans kept their transport fleet, although now, trying to come over here, there is a scramble, and there are 3 boats here that can scramble into there. So they might have to go to Britain first and then go in. Going to Britain, they do have some protection, although the Germans did build 2 more subs. You know I like to do that. And this other sub is up here lurking, hoping to cut off $2 worth of Soviet monies. So the Soviets may have to sortie their fleet. And the British are likely going to have to start putting boats in the water to help get the shuck going from North America over to Europe. They're going to have to do that. These are all likely going to die, right? We've got 4 destroyers here and a sub, and these are all within reach. This one is as well, but again, the scramble, it's not worth the British throwing away these destroyers on that right now. That's pretty much it. We still haven't activated Brazil. So Brazil, Argentina, Iraq, and Iran all got an extra infantry this turn because they are pro-allied or pro-axis, and they had not been activated yet. So that will help things out a little bit for anyone who comes in the next turn. So the British might come down here and activate this. Might be worth it at this point. Time will tell. All right, so that's it for just the first 2 Axis powers of this 4th turn of this game. Thanks so much for watching. And I'm going to upload this and we'll catch up with the rest of it in a couple of days. So stay tuned again. Don't forget, give me an email at hilltoppillbox@gmail.com. And we're going to start registrations. I'm hoping on June 1st. We're going to make it all official June 1st. You can contact me, register for the first ever Historical Board Gaming Northern Lights Tournament up here in Abbotsford, August 18th to 21st. It's a $50 Canadian buy-in, unless you're actually a game developer with HBG, in which case it's free. So come on up, come on down, come on over. We're going to have a great time in August at the first ever Northern Lights Tournament. Be here on the ground floor, folks. There's going to be some really great swag. And I tell you, you're going to impress your friends with all the amazing pieces that you'll be bringing back for your table. Make sure you hug your